Who's there? Oh, hey, it's the world. It's where you live and I live, and it's gone. Oh dear, that's pretty unfortunate. Luckily, life is a simulation, so let's shimmy back a bit and see how we got here. But first, let's get some important terms out of the way. The vast majority of human history has been determined by what's known as pew-pew diplomacy. No, the pew-pew is not the nicest lad in the laundromat. He comes in, defecates on your bright whites because the laundromat's owner who you've never met piss someone off, then you get charged for it and pray for sweet deliverance because they weren't just your whites, they were your bright whites. When pulled, it was discovered that it's considered very not fun for the laundry people. The good news is that times are changing and modernity presents us with a new playing field. We can now quickly and globally communicate and congregate and copulate, and civilization has progressed to a point where bullet guzzling is not the rule, rather the exception. Yet disputes are an inherent part of life, and the "there are people that aren't me, what do" problem still exists. Here's where we use diplomacy. But Panda, you say, isn't pew-pew diplomacy already diplomacy? Well, you're a quick thinker, pal, but not quite. It's like sewage to water. They both provide a means of getting over things mostly caused by arbitrary separation, but one is particularly shitty. But Panda, you repeat, how can progress be made without blood and sweat and tears? Quite simply, through branding. Countries, much like people or companies, have a brand. Unless you're particularly self-aware, you might not know yours. What's your brand? Well, do you follow through with your promises? Prioritize the growth of the general community over your own? Act according to facts, not your own unsubstantiated ideas. If you answered yes to all three, congratulations! You have a good, reliable brand. Your branding is known as your soft power. If you have something to offer and you're easy to accept an offer from, you're pretty much set. Now I'm going to need you to try really hard for this part because it takes quite a bit of imagination. Close your eyes. Closed yet? No? Well, I may not be able to force you, but I can feel the disappointment in your mother's heart. She's devastated. Seriously? You got her that for Mother's Day. Dear Lord. Anyways, toss your Crocs aside, roll up your jeans, and let's dip our feet into the waters of absurdity. Pretend that a massive corporation is obliterating the rights of workers and stripping a nation of its resources, so it has a revolution, becomes democratic, and begins to elect leaders and enact policies that give Uncle Sam a bit of a pink scare. We have a couple options here. A. Do nothing, they're a sovereign nation. B. Talk to them and see if we can paint some white and blue on that red. C. Overthrow the government and install a right-wing dictator. Now option A is obviously too ideal, and no story is fun without conflict, so we'll toss that one to the side. Option B seems swell, but doesn't satisfy our boom boner, so C it is. Of course, that would never happen because we as a modern society understand the importance of soft power, so let's move to a more personal example. Say you're sitting outside on your lawn, you think to yourself, ah geez, my foot is in my neighbor's lawn. Your neighbor then walks outside and looks at you and says, no shucks, your foot is in my lawn. You have two options now. Shoot them, or talk it over, understand the different desires you two might have, maybe over drink, and then, perhaps with the same desires and now armed with that knowledge, work towards a mutually beneficial agreement that can foster a relationship based on care and flexibility. Maybe one day you'll have kids and you can watch them grow. And when Timmy turns 10, you can tell them how proud you are that he wasn't a disappointment like his older sister. What older sister? He asked.
Exactly.
You tell him, and urinate to establish dominance. Then, because the government decided that it wanted to look cool and be tough, it triggered nuclear Armageddon. That's how we got here. The more you know.